Hello, StarCraft fans! I am Nyoken, and we are back with another game brought to you by StarCastTV. This time around, it's gonna be Mr. Fake Jadong himself, Mr. Soma, going up against Mr. Lucifer Mornings, aka Light. So a ZVT, our map is Polypoid, so a very standard map. Everybody knows and loves Polypoid. One of the best maps ever made, and currently in the ladder pool. Now Soma, he is innovating the Zerg race these days. He's got so many builds in his arsenal. Kind of like Shine, honestly. You know, Shine's bag of builds, but I think Soma's a little just more solid with his overall gameplay. So Light is going to have to be very careful going up against Soma because he can pull out all types of shenanigans. You know, on the ladder these days, I'm actually hitting a lot of one-hatch lurker bust. Yes, you heard that right. One-hatch lurker bust. And even though I haven't seen Soma here pull this out on stream myself, whenever you start seeing meta-changing plays like that, you can be pretty certain that Soma may have been the one to innovate it. And we do have Soma at top right and Light at top left, so this Overlord is going to get into position over that high ground and see exactly what's going on. Meanwhile, Light, he's just playing pretty normal. Of course, Rax in the main. Now, this is a interesting Rax placement. I've never really seen a Terran build their Rax so close, so maybe in recent games versus Soma, Light's been maybe 9 pooled or 4 pooled or something where he needs to get his Marines near his mineral line. We see not the case this time, though. It is just going to be a 12 hatch, and Light is going to get a bit lucky here and find the hatchery with the first scout. And he is going to be getting in here and seeing that this is just the normal go-to build these days. It is 2-minute gas, about 2-minute pool, not building any additional drones before making those 2 buildings, so not overly powering, just very normal. We do have this SCV up to no good. He's stolen some minerals, and he's showing to the Zerg like, hey man, I got these minerals, nothing you can do about it. Well, one thing that this drone can do about it is he can try and one-on-one this SCV, and generally at pro level, drone is going to win that fight. Now back in the main of Light, we have the standard command center follow-up, a 15 command center, no Marines, now starting to build Marines after getting that down and a depot. And we are going to have a second Rax coming in. And you know, lately these days I have been seeing more and more players actually go for something like 23 Academy, something that Ample was pulling out years ago. And I'm curious if we will see that from Light here. No gas just yet. So if we're going to go for that Ample style stim across the map, insanely fast stim timing, kind of need to put it down right now. Otherwise it's going to be more middle of the road. We do have an instant bunker, so Light really respecting the fact that loss of vision in Soma's main could be the go switch for Soma to just turn on the juice and pump out multiple amounts of lings. But we see that he is just powering. And Lair is about to finish, no Hydrogen anywhere, so Spire should be coming down pretty soon. And back in Light's main, gas is about done. Gas takes, I think, 25 seconds, so this was something like a 3:30 gas. That means we're going to have like, oh, I thought that the Academy would have already started, so a 4-minute Academy. And this is really telling of what Light wants to go for. Your stim's going to be decent, but your range is going to be pretty late. So that means that he's expecting to power. That means that he's not looking to get out onto the map with, you know, 10 Marines, 2 medics, and putting on pressure. If he does, he needs to be very careful because the range upgrade, as I said, will not be completed. Now this SCV is looking for the 3rd base, and the drone is behind. So if the SCV can stay alive long enough, he may be able to actually get a glimpse of the drone. Doesn't look like that's going to actually happen, though. I think Light has given up on the SCV. And we do have standard eBay timing, about 4:45 to 5 minutes, really what you're looking for as Terran, so you can have your turrets up in time. And there is the stem. And Spire is about 75% done. So you can see that Maybe we're going to have stem by the time the mutas get across, but we're going to have just started range, and that means that Terran's going to have to play passive. And okay, we can have a third Rex. This is going to allow him to get out onto the map. I actually thought we may see something like a 530 factory, but not going to be the case this time. Just going to be standard 3 Rex, and he is going to slightly move out. I think what this is intending to do is just put a little bit of pressure on, and we see a scan go down, but it's so few Marines, and also mutas are coming that, you know, Soma's not really scared. He put down a colony initially, canceled it, seeing the unit count. And Light is just going to have to play passive now. Okay, he canceled the turret. I guess he didn't like the positioning of that turret. And this is an interesting base because, as you can see, you build your turret here. It's not really ideal. Messes up your gas, messes up some mining. But where else do you build turrets? Right here? Then these two would be isolated from these two. So kind of an awkward position. And as expected, Terran's just going to be sitting in his base for now, still waiting for that factory to come down. But we do have +1 on the way. It's about 25% done. Meanwhile, third hatch is done for Soma at the natural, so that's pretty telling that he's going to be able to put lurkers here, take his 4th base relatively quickly. And it's going to be on Light to actually do something about that, because 4-base Zerg, every Terra knows, that is a scary thing to deal with. So we do have some muta harassment. I still don't think range is done yet. Yeah, you can see it's just now finishing. So these Marines really aren't that strong. That's why I was saying Light needs to be very careful. Now, he's got a sizable army, and with range kicking in now all of a sudden, this Marine ball is quite deadly. Now, we've been seeing a lot of armor play from Zerg, but this time around, it is going to be weapon upgrade. So if there was potential for Guardian Hydra, probably not the case this time. I expect to see Hydroden somewhere, but as I say that, where's the Hydroden? Okay, it's down here, getting lurkers. So this is a lot of mutas, actually. He has 11. I'm not sure how many Light has picked off, if he's picked off any. And this is something that Light loves to do. He loves to just split off 2 Marines from the rest of his army up here. And this is going to stem down here across the map. And we may get multiple kills. Now, this was a key move for Light. He's going to get... Oh, I thought he was going to get all of these Marines to the rest of his army, but not the case. And Soma lost 1 muta for that. So that was an amazing trade. However, Light's going to shut down this base for now. It's going to force all these things back. So this was a good trade for both sides, shutting down a base while also whittling down half of the Marine ball. Soma's so good with his mutas. And look at this army. This is 7 Marines. Zerg can just kill this. I think Light needs to try and escape to his natural at this point. This is mega dead. Instead, he's going to try and reinforce. But still, this is only 7 Marines, man. You got to get the hell out of here. Now, behind this, we've got actually an add-on onto the factory and going into 5 racks. So he wants to bust. I keep consistently hearing scans go off, but I guess this was a scan over the natural. What does he actually see? He would see a natural that has just a sunken, only 1 lurker. Hive just started. That may be the reason that he's going for this tank push. The Hive seems to have started a little bit late, but I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do with this army because his Marine count is at 12, man, and these mutas are just doing work. We've got the first tank coming. We've got Vessel coming. No Valkyrie this game. You know, Valkyrie is a common opener these days. We even saw in the previous ASL, Royal and Rush, I would say, steal some games with a tank Valkyrie push. But not going to be this time around. Mutas. Not going to find a kill that time. I think at this point the mutas have kind of exceeded their time on the map. Right now, they're just looking for straggler units. I think it's going to be pretty hard to actually get any Marine kills at this point unless you're building more mutas. Now, this is an interesting move. He's... Okay, yeah. I'm sitting here like, wait, dude, there's a sunken. And, of course, there's a lurker. But this is interesting. I'm not sure exactly what this is supposed to do. Maybe think that half the army was missing and he was actually busting, but Soma too smart for that. Now, meanwhile, at this third base... Not really anything to see, you know. I was actually kind of expecting to see an evolution chamber or something, but we can see that the Drone count is pretty good across the board. Good saturation, and there's the evolution chamber. So +1 armor on the way. Nidus being set up. And this base also cannot be attacked. But like I said, this is a pretty strong attack. This is 2 tanks. Okay, the muta count did climb up to 11. I think that's what you gotta get if you're gonna try and shut down this tank push before Defilers. Now that's a mistake. So many mutas taking damage here. Soma's gonna salvage it a little bit by killing a couple of Marines, but look at this desperation. He's going into 5 Sunkens, just trying to buy time. Now does Light not have okay, he does have Siege, just finished right now, so perfect timing from him. An Irradiate would be menacing if he can actually get a vessel over here with the energy and time. The mutas do pick off 1 tank, that's nice, but the problem is there's still 2 tanks here. And they are gonna knock down all these Sunkens. You can see that the Sunkens have actually done a really good job eliminating a lot of the Marines, but non-stop reinforcements across the map. Light, you gotta be careful with that. Stimming into Sunkens, I don't know. He may actually even get this vessel. It's super low. The Radiate went off but didn't cast. That was a clutch catch by Soma there. And because he caught that, he may actually be able to hold this. I still don't see a Defiler, man. Where is it? Defiler Consume is only halfway done. The fact that the Irradiate didn't get off was a huge mistake from Light. These mutas would have taken so much damage. But as played, now we've got Marines that have stemmed through almost all of the energy of Terran's medics. Mutas are still wreaking havoc, man. Like, I can't believe someone's gonna hold this with basically pure mutas. Another vessel moving across the map, but it doesn't have energy just yet. There's the Defiler, and now finally this push is going to be pushed back. And Light is one of the fastest unsiegers with his tanks, especially in pushes like this. So he does save one of them. He's not going to lose both. But behind this, what is he going for? We've got just 1 starport. Okay, we've got 2 starport. We've got command center coming down. So he is actually going to transition out of this into more macro. He's not going to 7 racks try and bully his way through Zerg's base. But overall, I would say this was a pretty worthwhile attack for Terran. He's still got a sizable army left over. He can definitely start taking bases, whether he's, you know, just taking this. He could probably even take a 4th base here or here. And meanwhile, Zergs, look at their econ. 45 workers, that's pretty damn good. 4th base is going to go down. And now with Defiler out onto the map and Nidus, he should be able to save bottom right if an attack comes that way. Meanwhile, looks like Light is going to take a 4th base as expected, so that's going to be on the menu in just a second. Meanwhile, the Bio Ball still doing a good job keeping Zerg back, but I gotta say, these mutas have really done a lot this game. I thought for sure that the Irradiates plus the tank push was going to end it, but we still got a sizable Marine ball, and this time tank is going to be comboed here. However, since the Defiler's out, I don't think this is really going to do much damage. This could just draw the mutas over here and then potentially set up for a drop. Remember, he's got double starport going, and that is exactly what he's doing. He's starting to bank up some dropships. He's already got 2 coming. His +2 weapon, +2 armor is about done also. So really nicely done from Light. He's really crushing it in terms of his upgrades. Here comes that single tank push, like I said, and this is just going to be denied. I think this was actually a little early, but it does keep the mutas over here. And if we look at what the actual defense is for Soma over on the right side, top right, I mean, not much, but he does have good spotting vision here, so he'll at least see it coming from a mile away. And here comes that drop. Now, if he wants to avoid the Overlords, he's going to need to go something like this and then hook around. So we'll see if that's the case, and there we go. Straight through the center so far. Now, where's he going to go? Is he going to go to bottom right? That's where all the mutas are, man. Looks like he is. I'm surprised he didn't move up here towards the main. Well, there's no Scourge, and he scans. So Soma, if he saw that, oh my god, just barely out of position. I actually don't think 6 mutas would have been enough. But look at this, there's no medics in this army. He needs to instantly elevator these medics in also. Otherwise, this army's going to get cleaned up. Lurkers moving into position. Remember, these units are heavily upgraded. +2 weapon also just kicked in. So big power spike for light. But what are these drops doing? They're not doing anything. The drop in the main is going to get cleaned up. And this follow-up drop, damn, I think it was a big mistake not getting the medics in. But at least he's going to get behind the mineral line at the third base. So maybe that was the move. Shut down the mining here also. And we can see actually Soma, who was at 45 workers a moment ago, now down to 37. I guess these lurkers repositioned to shut that down. So overall, it was a good hold. Scourge, do die, and don't kill any of the drop ships. He could come in for round 2, and that's exactly what he's doing. I don't think we saw any fire bats in here, though, so I think this should still be shut down. Now, back in Light's main, we've got 7 racks. No more tank production. He's got the double starport. I don't see the add-on for the physics lab for BCs, but he has pretty much started to cut his SCVs. He's good with 55. Good plague here is going to nullify this drop. But the vessels, oh no. The eraser coming in. Meanwhile, there's another attack at the natural here. Lights everywhere, man. He's keeping Soma so far back. Soma's econ really not that great. And you can see the drones are dying because of that eraser down here. Zerg has pretty good macro hatches. And there we go. We see the first really high tier tech unit, the Ultra. But it's not that heavily upgraded right now. He does have +2 armor from the evolution chamber, but doesn't have kiteness just yet. Hasn't started +3 either. Meanwhile, Terran's +3, almost halfway done by now. So Light looking like he's in prime position to potentially take this game, or at least scale into the late game with a good position. We've got some more vessels moving out. These are coming back. Another plague goes down. Doesn't really hit that much, though. The Terran does see ultras are out, and that's going to be a bit scary for him. Still no +3 armor, so that's not too great for him. Scourge going to try and get this vessel. Not going to get it, though. I'd like to see some more barracks if he's going to be going into bio. There we go. And we do have an 8th barracks up. I think really the magic number if you're playing pure bio, like almost no tanks. And yes, technically he's building a tank here and there, but essentially no tanks. I think the magic number is something like 10 barracks. So maybe once he gets this base up and running, builds a couple more SCVs, he'll scale a few more. We've got, meanwhile, another irradiate bomb down to bottom right. I didn't realize he also took down the Nidus, so that's a good pick off for Light, but it's now been reinforced. And these 3 Lings over here actually going to do work. Well, no, they're not. SCVs are way stronger than I thought. And this, I like this bunker placement. This is pretty cute. You SCV drill here, depot right here, and all of a sudden, how are you going to get on top of it? I'll definitely consider that the next time I'm playing top left as Terran. Now, Zerg, despite taking so much damage, has pretty much stabilized at this point. 50 drones. Maybe only needs like 5 to 6 more drones to be really up and running. Doesn't have his 4th gas though, but he does have macro hatches. He does have pretty good upgrades. And supplies are pretty close, 125 to 144. This is a scary moment for Terran, but this vessel count, sitting at 5, irradiates for days, still irradiating stuff. And there's no answer, there's no Scourge. We've got a small attack here, can clean this up. But looks like really Light has his eyes set on busting this third base. This could be the best plague of all time, and it might be. Jeez Louise. That is a lot of damage right there. You're going to need more than the medic energy upgrade to restore that. And look at that. The Haymaker is what we called it in the EG days. The irradiated ultras just running through the entire Marine medic ball. What did they attack? Like maybe once or twice? But the whole army disappears. And that was the trade that Soma was looking for. And now all of a sudden, I don't like Light's position so much. Yes, he has 4 bases, but his main and natural is mined out. Bio is pretty damn hard to make work, just pure bio. He also doesn't have any tank upgrades versus a Zerg that's about to have 3-5 on ultras. Also, Zerg has a lot of macro hatches. Look at this, macro hatch, 2 macro hatches. So Zerg on something like 7 or 8 hatches, meanwhile taking mid right as a 5th base. And the vessel count is not some insane amount. It's just 5. If it was like 10, that's a different story. Supplies are now almost even, man. Zerg, what's the +3 timing? Okay, still a little bit far away, but not that many irradiates. What's this, like 4 irradiates? At 20 minutes in the game, Zerg can definitely manage that. Scourge are going to find an opening, gets 3 out of the 5, and the floodgates have opened. The econ is starting to kick in. You see Soma now feeling more confident to build multiple amounts of ultras, and he's even taking a 6th base. Oh my gosh, Light, who I thought had a really good position, he's fumbling the bag here. Is he gonna try and transition into mech? I mean, he's building a lot of tanks, but does he even have an armory? I don't see an armory anywhere. It's +0 versus heavily upgraded Lings. Like, the tanks don't even one-shot Lings anymore. Command center, but he's gonna have to float it over there. That's exactly what he's doing. This is just not that many tanks. There's not that many vessels. And here we go. This is gonna be a killer engagement for Soma. If he can get the Dark Swarm down, he needs that Dark Swarm. Scourge are going to collapse on these vessels. Gets 1, 2, 3 of them. The Ultra's still doing decently well. They're going to get cleaned up, but that's a fine trade. I would take that trade every day of the week as Zerg, especially if I have the entire right side of the map. And, I mean, technically, Light held that attack, but how's he going to hold the follow-up one? It's going to be even more ultras. There's going to be even more defilers, more lings, more lurkers, and we don't have. We have one science vessel. What's this command center doing, man? This looks like a Nyoken command center right there. Where's he going? This is like one of the biggest misclicks I've seen a pro make. We're setting up. I think this game's over. This defiler gets over here. Yes, this army's tiny, but I mean, Terran's army is not the strongest. This is a lot of ultras. Tons of ultras coming in. Well, where is Zerg's army? Is it literally just this? Here we go. More ultras gonna join the fray with the Dark Swarm, and this is gonna get cleaned up. There isn't really much supporting this, but that's a good Dark Swarm. Is gonna knock down all of the tanks also. Terran still just on 2 bases. This command center is still in no man's land. And all of the high-tech units are going to die. All the tanks. Technically, the vessels are still alive, but they're going to get picked off soon, I'm sure. Mid-right. It's already up and running, Light, and he just taps out instantly. No GG. And Soma, he's going to take the game. And that was a wild game. I thought that Terran was going to win with the push. But the muted control, immaculate, and you can see why you cannot let Zerg get 4 bases unless you have stabilized your side of the map. They just explode once that happens. And good trades from Soma with the Ultras and Scourge near the end, and especially that Killer Plague allowed him to take that game. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this cast, and I'll see you in the next one.